So thank you everybody for joining me, and I would love to send a big thank you to Krista if you're there. Thank you so much for choosing me to host with, and I'm so glad that I could be here sharing Epicure with you and your friends. Some of you know me, some of you do not, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Courtney Carty. I am a leader here with Epicure. I started working with Epicure in January, so about 6 months ago. So again, not very long I've been working. Before that, I stayed at home with my kiddos for about almost 7 years while my husband, who's also self-employed, needed to do a lot of traveling for his work, and me being a veterinary technician at the time, with shift work and weekends, it just wasn't conducive to him having to travel, so I stayed home with the kids. And once my youngest was of school age, I decided I needed to do something that was mine, for me again. But in the middle of a pandemic, I did not want to go back to shift work and weekends. We had gotten used to a very flexible lifestyle, and I wanted to maintain that. So Epicure was sitting right in front of me, and it was an easy choice because we're cooking with it anyway. It is fast, easy meals, it's delicious, and it's good for you. So why not just jump right in? And I did. I jumped in. I thought this would be a really fun side gig, a little bit of extra money, to spend on myself each month. And it turned into so much more than that. It is a lifestyle. It is now my job 100%, and I'm loving it. And not only do I get to share good food with all of you, I actually have a team that I am leading, and I get to watch them realize their dreams with Epicure, and I get to help them, which is an amazing bonus to this job that I didn't expect when I started. But you just never know when you start something new what's going to turn out, and I'm really, really happy that it did, and I'm so happy that all of you are here. I want you to kick back, relax, grab a drink, because I don't like drinking alone, and grab a pen and paper, because if you see something you like, you want to write it down, and enjoy. And if you see something that you like, or if you think that this would be a cool, fun job that you would be great at, I want you to reach out to me, because it is. And if you have any questions for me regarding the business side of things, I'm happy to answer any of your questions at no obligation. I would love to have you join my team if you think this is a good fit for you. If not you, maybe somebody you know would be wonderful at this job, or maybe needs something like this in their lives, because Epicure is not only good for you, but it is 100% gluten-free, nut-free. It is very low in allergens, and I'm not sure if you guys saw the Never Ever list that I posted a little earlier. It's a list of ingredients that Epicure will never put in any of our products. So we are very allergen friendly. If you have allergies to soy, gluten, obviously nuts, it's a great option for anybody who may be struggling with dietary issues. But there's no artificial colors or flavors, no corn syrup, sodium glutamates, no nitrite, no MSG, none of that. And it is all good for you. And Epicure was started about 25 years ago. Our founder is Sylvie Rochette, and her daughter is our CEO. So it's a family-run, female-led Canadian company. We launched recently in the US in 2019, so we have gone global. We can sell cross borders. So if you know of anyone in the States that wants Epicure, I can hook them up, no problem. So it is a wonderful company to be a part of, a group of entrepreneurs that we're all here to help each other and share good food, which is what we're gonna get to right now. So the first thing I did beforehand, and I had to do this beforehand, I wish I didn't have to, but I did, is I cooked our potatoes in the steamer. This is gonna go in our crab cakes, but it needs to be cooled down before I mix it all together. So this here is our multi-purpose steamer. It is our #1 seller for good reason. It is fantastic. Anyone who has one will tell you they use it all the time. You can cook desserts, side dishes, popcorn, full meals in here. So I've just done up about 2 cups of baby potatoes, and I kind of cut them into 1-inch cubes, about that. And I put it in the microwave for 6 minutes. No water, no oil, no nothing. The beauty of the steamers is it steam cooks. And using it in the microwave is where the magic happens. So yes, you could use this in the oven. It is oven safe up to 445 degrees, dishwasher and freezer safe. but the quick cooking happens in the microwave. And that's because when you cook at a lower temperature, faster, steam cooking, you actually preserve the most amount of nutrients. So as opposed to boiling your potatoes, you're not adding any water and all the nutrients leaching out into the water. It's staying in your food. So it's amazing. It's food grade silicone, so nothing will leach into your food at all. So I'm gonna just mash up our potatoes so that I can scoop out a half cup to go into our crab mixture. This is our meat separator, also good for mashing potatoes or bananas for banana bread. It's called our meat separator because when you cook meat in the steamer, trust me, you can do it in the microwave and it turns out great. It obviously doesn't separate on its own. You need to separate it. So that's why we have this. It's a great wide silicone handle, easy, comfortable grip, and 3 nylon tines that lay flat, so it meshes everything coarsely. It doesn't get a fine mash. I've left the skins on these potatoes, so I kind of like doing that. Adds a bit of color and texture and fiber. So just mash those up, and the silicone cleans up so nice. Nothing sticks to it at all. So even if you were doing bacon, which yes, you can do bacon in the steamer with the multi-purpose tray that goes in there, in the microwave, and all the grease just drips right down, and you just fold it up and pour off the grease. It's amazing. You're gonna love it. So I've got our mashed potato. Okay, let me get my crab cakes. So I've got 2 packages of crab. You could use any kind. I just grabbed some pre-cooked crab meat. So I've got about 450 grams of that. I'm gonna measure out a half cup of potatoes. So these are our perfect portion scoops. They come on their own or with the Epic Life collection, which is a fantastic collection if you were looking at it. And it helps you portion out your meals so you have a perfectly balanced plate with protein, veggies, carbs, and healthy fats. So I'm gonna scoop out our half cup of carbs. You'd be surprised when you actually measure out what a portion is, how much you get to eat when you're portioning out everything. And so there we go. So we've got our half cup of potato. That's all we need for now. And then in this, I'm gonna add our West Coast burger. This is designed to, it's got a lot of dill in it. We've got onion, herbs, garlic, salt, lemon, dill, black pepper, chilies, and there's a bit of cornstarch in here too. So this is to make salmon burgers with, but I'm gonna do a crab cake. And we're gonna just take 2 tablespoons of that out with our 4-in-1 spice spoon. So the tablespoon is the larger one. A teaspoon is here, half a teaspoon's on the other side, and then there's a line halfway there to show a 1/4 teaspoon. So you have everything all in one. They fit into our narrow jars perfectly. And if I got a little extra, that's okay. You can customize it. If you want a little more, add more. If you want less, add less. There are recipes on every single jar and packet, but you can add more or not. The beauty of Epicure is you can customize it to your family's liking. So if you didn't want potato, if you were gluten-free, you'd be using a sweet potato. That goes for any of our recipes. You can substitute whatever your family needs or likes. And we're just gonna add some sweet and spicy mustard. I just checked and this just sold out. It's on back order now. I'm so sorry, but we do have our honey mustard still available, which also would be delicious in this. But I really wanted to do the sweet and spicy because I prefer this one. If this is something you were looking at, please let me know and I will put you on my wait list. And as soon as it comes back, I will let you know. All right, so now we're gonna mix all of this with my 3-in-1 spatula. So it's a really tiny spatula with a sharp cornered edge, which is great for scraping those smaller bowls. And I might want to, oh, my egg. I forgot to add my egg. That's what I need for the binding. I did kind of press the moisture out of the crab meat before putting it in the bowl. So I didn't want it to be too liquidy. I might actually have to add some liquid if this doesn't stick together. We'll see how it goes. And I've set my oven to 400. So I'm gonna be baking these in our muffin cups, our perfect portion muffin cups. muffin makers, pardon me. These are exactly 1/4 cup measures. So if you're portioning out food or freezing anything, because as I said, all of this is freezer safe, you can freeze out portions of hummus, whatever you've made, and just pop them out and then keep them in a freezer safe container and use your muffin maker for something else. So that's a great way to portion out your meals, little 1/4 cups of rice or whatever. All right, let's mix all this. So I'm just going to oil these little muffin cups. With any of our silicone, you don't want to use cooking spray at all. It will void the warranty. And actually what cooking spray will do, the propellants in the cooking spray have a something that it's a chemical that will degrade silicone. So it'll break it down and make it sticky. So it's the opposite of what you're looking for. So just brush on olive oil or avocado oil or whatever, oil of your choice. There we go. You could add mayo to this too. Another good option is our big burger sauce. Would be great in this, in the crab cake, if you wanted to add a bit of mayo. So I'm just going to add some oil. I've got it here on our larger sheet pan and liner, just to help me get it in and out of the oven. And these are great little trays also for carting things back and forth to the barbecue. And the silicone liners just keep cleanup super easy. They've got a little lip on the edge that holds in any juices that were leaking off the foods. And the sheet pan itself doesn't actually get dirty. So you really just need to wipe them and they're done. So there we go. Basted that, and I'm gonna just scoop and smush them down into little cakes. There we go. So these muffin makers are fantastic. Of all of our silicone molds, I think I use this one and the Perfect Petites the most. Just simply for portioning. If you're portioning out desserts, the Perfect Petites is amazing. It's 2 tablespoons. So if you're watching your dessert intake, because I mean, I need to portion it out. I know I would go crazy with the sweets if I didn't watch myself. So it's a guilt-free indulgence when you just have one little dessert. There we go. Smush. These are looking good. And I know I posted about the collections. There's another collection that I didn't post about, and I can add this tomorrow. It's the July What's for Dinner. So every month there's a new collection of meal solution packs and spices that are actually bundled at a discount. And the July What's for Dinner includes the West Coast Burger, the creamy potato salad, and the Feisty Greens, among I think 21 different meal solution packs. So it's a great deal. I'll post that tomorrow. But I'm using all of the spices from that collection today. All right, that's pretty good. And I'm hoping, yes, I'm a little behind, but I was hoping, because this will take 15 minutes. Now I'm using pre-cooked crab, so it really just needs to cook the egg and stick everything together. There we go. Smush, smush, smush. Right here. Good. Done. And even if I spill, it'll clean up so easily. So I'm gonna pop that in. All right. I'm just gonna move on to our cornbread. I thought would go really nicely with crab cakes. So I'm going to just quickly melt some butter and warm up some milk in the microwave in our 4-cup prep bowls. So we have single cup prep bowls, which I'll show you in a minute, and these are our 4-cup. They all come with silicone lids. So they're great for storing, great for taking to work. You can pop this right in the microwave. You don't have to transfer it to another container. It's not that plastic that you're worried about in the microwave. And great for salads as well. So I'm gonna pop in a 1/4 cup of butter and some milk. I think it's 1/3 of a cup, something like that, of some milk, and then just warm that up. I think it'll take a minute. Everyone's microwave is different, so sometimes when you're trying out some of these recipes, it might say 4 to 6 minutes. Always start with the least amount of time and then work your way up. It's kind of a trial and error at first. when you get your steamers or your silicone. You just, sometimes you're not quite sure how your microwave is going to work with the recipe. And if I'm not able to answer your questions while I'm doing this, I definitely will go back and check and see if I missed anything. I can't quite see far away. But I will for sure answer any of your questions later, or you can send me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions. Okay, so that, we got 12 more seconds. Cornbread. So what have I got to do here? Just got to mix that up and then add 2 eggs in the mix. And then I'm going to, you could cook it in the muffin makers, you could cook it in a cake pan. I'm going to do it in our mini muffin. There we go. And our mini whisk. I love, love, love this. I had to get 3 because I have 3 kids and I didn't want anyone fighting over not being able to help me because they didn't have a whisk. All right. So that butter's all melted. What's next? Don't want to do it wrong. Okay, 2 eggs. There we go. Nobody wants shell in there. Go. There we are. And if you didn't want to use an egg, you could definitely use any egg substitute. If you had an egg allergy, you could use a flax egg. This is not vegan because there is cheese in it. Of course, cheese is going into it. Let me just double check that. Yes, there is cheese in here, so this one isn't vegan. But many of our blends are vegan. I think it's 85% of the current catalog is vegan friendly. So it will support any dietary needs, most any. All right, we'll mix those up. Add our mix. I think I'm gonna need a bigger bowl because I'm supposed to whisk this vigorously and I think it might overflow in this small bowl. So I'll put it in here and get my larger whisk. Prep Pro scissors, the best scissors I've ever had. They're not just for cutting packages. Cut your meat, your pizza. My son cuts his pancakes with this because he still doesn't know how to use a knife and fork. And he's almost 11. Okay. So I'll just use my larger whisk. Just want to mix all this together. And they want you to get it all foamy. So mix it quite vigorously so that it gets very airy and bubbly. If I was putting it in the round steamer or a round cake pan, it would be about 9 minutes. But I'm using the mini muffin molds. There's a set of 4. So I'm guessing it'll be about half that time because that's quite a small volume. And that way I have 4 separate ones. So I can freeze 2 and eat 2. Because really it's just my husband and I that eat the cornbread. Maybe one of my kids will eat it. And we'll put the cheese in, half a cup of cheese. So the great thing about these little dishes is they have measurements on the side in mils and in cups. So I just measured a half a cup of cheese in there. Didn't have to use a separate measuring tool, then put it in the prep bowl. All right. And since I can't put this in the microwave, I'll just have to slide these in on their own. But these are great too for portioning out things like little mini meatloafs and then freezing them for later use or taking them to work. Another great hack with any of our silicone molds, if you cook them ahead of time and freeze them, you can pop them right out. And then when they're ready to be warmed up, you just put them back in the exact same thing, warm it up in the microwave. Or even uncooked. I've made enchiladas and uncooked and just put them in, froze them, and then when I'm ready to cook them, just put them back in the steamer and add a little extra time. Fantastic. And I should probably oil this too. I want to make sure they come out. Now the silicone, I've had this happen before where I've forgotten to oil it and it still came out fine. But it really does help it fall right out if you just oil the bottom. But you don't have to. It really doesn't stick. Perfect. All right. Now I'm gonna make a mess, probably, because So that's just how I roll. But you really don't have to be a good cook to do this job. I never considered myself to be a chef. I made dinners so people would eat, the kids would eat, and Epicure just made life so much easier, simple, easy to follow recipes, and it's delicious. And the fact that it was good for us was a side note for me. I just needed those easy, fast meals on those weeknights where, you know, we're busy running around. Let me get my little spatula and get every last bit of this out of here. So all of our silicone tools are fantastic. It's also on back order, but I will let you know when they come back if this is something you want. Our set of 5 silicone utensils, they are awesome. And the fact that it's uniformly silicone all the way to the end, there's no gap between a wooden handle and a silicone head, and you get all that crud stuck in there, it washes up really nicely. All right, so I'm gonna put these in. I'm gonna start it at 4 minutes and see what we get. Okay. There we go. Let's hope that's good. Keep my scissors handy in case I need them again. And I don't think I need this again. All right, so I'm gonna move on to a little bit of a sauce I'm gonna add to the crab cakes for some dip. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It was on the wrong tray. The Feisty Green Sauce. I love, love, love this. As soon as the new catalog came out and I tried everything, this was my #1 favorite of the new catalog. It's a brand new item. Feisty Green Sauce is like Epicure's version of the Green Goddess dressing. It's got jalapeno, parmesan, matcha green tea, lime powder. It's delicious. So you mix it with a little bit of mayo and lime juice and drizzle it on. You can create a dressing with it or have it as a finishing sauce. Where'd my spoon go? So I'm just gonna make it as a little finishing sauce. 1 tablespoon. And all of our spices are dehydrated. So you wanna make them ahead of time, at least 5 to 10 minutes before you wanna eat them, to allow everything to rehydrate and all the flavors to come out. And we need about a 1/2 cup of mayo. So my handy prep bowls have the measurements right there. All right, right, 1/2 cup. I always check. I know, I'm a label reader, I'm a recipe follower, not everybody is, doesn't matter. You can do what you want. So some water and lime juice. Now, the water I should have added first, and I do this every time, to rehydrate the Feisty Green, then add the mayo, but I don't care. It'll still turn out delicious. I'll just add a little bit of water. And really all that is to thin it out so that it's not mayonnaise consistency. It's more of a sauce or a, oh boy, see? Making a mess again. And they pay me to do this. Okay, here we go. Hold your applause. There we go. All right. Perfect. Add a little lime juice. So I'm gonna grab our cutting board because I wanna show everybody what Krista is gonna get when she gets her host exclusive, is our fantastic cutting board. If you know Epicure and you've been around, they discontinued this a few months ago and brought it back just for July as a host exclusive. If you love this and you missed out on it, ask me and I'll help you host a party and you can get yourself one of these. It is my favorite cutting board. It has these silicone feet on it, so it raises it up slightly off of the counter and it's non-slip. It's fantastic. So I'm just gonna cut my lime with our chef knife, another favorite of mine, ceramic chef knife. It is harder and sharper than stainless steel. Is it sharper or stronger? All right, flip that around this way. And this is our 2-in-1 citrus press. So I'm gonna put the lime here in the lime compartment. and that's the lemon compartment. You put it in cut side down, because that's where the holes are. And then you squeeze so much juice out of this. I'm only using a little, so I won't get the full lime. Just about a teaspoon. I'm gonna save this for our drink. But what it essentially does is flips the lime inside out. Okay. So a couple more minutes left there, a couple more minutes left there. Perfect. And then that is done. Left to rehydrate. Okay. Let me put that aside for 1 sec. We're gonna need more lime juice for our beverage. I'm gonna check on this cornbread. Just gonna add another minute. Another 30 seconds actually. It's pretty much done. Just needs a little bit more time. And the last thing I was gonna do is just pop in some asparagus to go with our meal. So I've grabbed this today. Normally, if you grab some asparagus, you'd wanna snap it right at that weak spot. I'm just gonna cut it to fit into my steamer. So this is our rectangular steamer. It's perfect for 1 to 2 people, reheating food. Get in there, you. Of course, he doesn't want to fit. There we go. And I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of oil. And anything goes with asparagus, really. The West Coast burger would go great on that, lemon dilly, but I'm gonna put the creamy potato salad on it. This also comes in the July What's for Dinner, because you don't have to use the spice as it's intended. You can use it for various different things, and it's still just blends of spices. That's simply all they are. I'm gonna steam this for 2 minutes. There we go. So our rectangular steamer, perfect. And our cornbread is done. That was perfect. There we go. So we have perfect little cornbread loaves, and I'm gonna just flip them over onto my cooling rack, and off they go. Just let them cool. That's warm. So as you can see, they pop right out. Nothing is sticking to the inside. And that was 4.5 minutes. That's hot. Oh, there you go, there we go. So yeah, you could do these in the muffin makers and have the perfectly round cornbread. And we'll just let that cool. We've got our asparagus going, and now it's time for our beverage. That's aside. And crab cakes are looking good. So I bought a brand new watermelon yesterday and thought, what can I make with watermelon? So I'm gonna do a watermelon slushie with rum, of course, because that's what makes it delicious. So I'm gonna bring my ancient blender over here. I definitely need to invest in a nice new blender, but it'll get the job done. So it's about 1.5 cups of watermelon. We're gonna drop some on the floor and blend the rest up. Doesn't take long to blend up watermelon. Gonna grab some ice. Because we want to shake it up with some ice to chill it a little, and then we'll add a bit of ice to my glass. But I also froze some watermelon cubes, because why not? And these are gonna also be little ice cubes in my jar. Woohoo! So cute. It's another thing the little Perfect Petites is good for, making those long ice cubes. All right. Put my watermelon juice in there. And some rum, triple sec, and lime juice. And we're gonna shake it up. You could use vodka too, or you could make it without alcohol at all, and just put some orange juice and some fizzy water or bubbly or something. Perfect. There we go. And the rest of that lime juice, we need the juice from one lime, so we're gonna finish the rest of this. So it holds all the seeds and it flips the lime inside out. So you can see it's kind of indented there. So we're gonna put the other one in. Let's see if you can see this a little bit better. All the juice that comes out and how easy that is. So the citrus press is made of die-cast aluminum, so it's lightweight, easy to use, but very durable. And it just flips those lemons and limes right inside out. This is a great item to grab. If you're deciding you want to host a party and you book off of Krista's party, you get an extra $20 to spend when your party qualifies. Perfect thing to grab with that extra $20. And now we're going to shake up our drink without spilling it. And I think everything's done, and I apologize I've gone a little over time, but we're going to pour this into here. Oh, it's not coming out because there's too much watermelon. Well, that's okay. Come on, buddy. You want to... Yeah. There we go. That's better. Ta-da! A little watermelon to garnish. And there we go. A fun summer beverage. Hopefully it tastes good. Yummy. That does taste delicious. Tastes like I'm on vacation. All right, so I'm gonna grab those crab cakes and show everybody what they look like. Perfect. Turn my oven off. So there they are. I've got my roll up rack here so I can put it down to cool. So our roll up rack, you saw that video. It's you can use it as a trivet, or you can use it over the sink to wash your dishes or rinse your veggies. So I just put that there to cool. And our asparagus is done. 2 minutes, and it's nice and perfectly steamed. So I'm just gonna plate everything and show you, and then that'll be it. I want to pop this out. It's super hot. Fingers. But they came out in the perfect little cups. 1, 2, that one wanted to fall apart. 3. So hopefully really soon we'll be able to do in-person cooking classes. So again, if anyone wants to book their own cooking class, you know, we could always do it in person if you're local. And I'm just going to get my cutting board back and just cut up this cornbread. Their ceramic chef knife is awesome. It comes with a guard because you want to protect the knife from chipping, but you also want to protect your fingers because it is so sharp. It is best used on soft fruits and veggies, meats without the bone. It'll not squash your tomatoes when you're slicing them. So there we go. And then our Feisty Green Sauce. Oh, I can't forget about that. And if you wanted to water it down a little bit, you could use it as a drizzle, but we'll just put some on top of our crab cakes. It's gonna be delicious. So there you have it. Well, thank you so much everyone for joining me. I really do wish we could be here in person together and you could taste all of this food really soon. I hope we can do that. Thank you so much, Krista, for hosting. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone had a good time. And if we were in person, I'd be able to come around to each and every one of you and make sure that you had a good time, that you were enjoying yourself, and asking you what you would like to grab. So because it is virtual, I'm going to be messaging you. Please message me back. Let me know how you enjoyed it. I'm going to be asking if you had a good time. I'm going to ask you, do you think this is a business that you'd like to be a part of? I'm going to ask you when we're going to be booking your cooking class. And of course, I can help you decide on any of the wonderful food or cookware items. Thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.